Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how you can clean and change your air filter in a 2013 and up Yamaha FJR 1300. And before I begin, I want to say I'm very happy that these how-to videos have been helping a lot of people, been getting a ton of great feedback. So that's cool. I'm glad everybody is getting some use out of them. But I have had a few comments, basically people saying, oh, what do you need a video on that for? It's so simple. Quick answer is, for those of us that know how to do things, yes, you're absolutely right. It is very simple, and a video does seem silly. But these videos aren't for people that already know how to do stuff. Point of these videos is to demystify a lot of this stuff that, for someone who's never done it before, can be very confusing, scary, daunting, things that make them go right to the dealer and just say, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm here to show you that there's nothing hard about doing all the basic maintenance and some fairly complex things on your motorcycle. So this is just to save those people a ton of cash and bring them up to speed so that they can get up and do everything else themselves. All right, now, first thing we have to do is pop off the seats, and then we're going to take off this left-hand panel right here. The seats, once again, set them down someplace safe, nice and soft. Protect your finishes. Don't set them down on the concrete. Okay, the next step is to take off our left side panel. This is very easy to do. It's a combination of 2 Allen screws. It takes a 4mm Allen key and a bunch of these quarter turn quick connects. First thing we have to do is remove our left side bag, because it's hiding one of the quick connects that we need to take off. Got one up here. Just give it a quarter turn. Slides right out. We've got one hiding right under here. Right at the edge. It's facing up. Quarter turn. Wiggle it out. And it's just holding this end of the red panel to the silver one. It can be a little snug getting out. There you go. Just pops out. Got 2 up here in front. One holding the panel to the frame, and one holding it to this lower gas tank panel. Then we have 2 4mm Allen screws. One in the front here has a big shoulder on it, and it's got a rubber bushing. So it's pretty hard not to put these back where they belong, but just remember the big one goes up front. You'll notice if you try to put them in the wrong way. There we go. It's got this big built-in bushing and a big flat shoulder. And then the last one is down here underneath the center stand assist handle. And it just comes out. This also has a bushing collar. Make sure that if it doesn't stay in, that you keep it with the screw. Now, this panel is held on just by a rubber snap bushing, and I'll show it to you as soon as I pop it off. All you have to do is put your hand under here and give it a tug out, and it just slides right out. Now we can carefully just separate the plastics. Don't worry, it flexes. Take it from the front off first, and then it just pivots. Going back on, same thing. You just put it underneath the red panel, flex this out a bit, and we'll put it back in. But in the back here, you can see it has this clip, and it goes right into this rubber bushing right here. So here we can see our airbox shroud. And this is what we're going to be taking off next. And again, it's just a combination of Phillips fasteners. We have 2 quick connects here. And all these are the same size, so you don't have to worry about where they came from. They're all the same part. The only 2 different, well actually 3 different of these quick connects. The one on the heat shield under the gas tank is a much bigger design with a big bushing. You can't mistake that for anything else. The trim piece quick connects don't have a Phillips head. They're just a push button, but all the Phillips heads are the same. And these are for all the body parts and internal plastics like this. And we have 1 Phillips regular screw here near the front. And that is our shroud off. Here we can see our actual air box. It's kind of like a reverse horn. This is the air intake facing the rear of the bike here. And the air makes a 90-degree bend and goes straight into our canister inside. What we're going to do is remove 4 Phillips screws. There are 6 showing, we only do 4. These 2 here, we don't touch. This is just clamping the 2 parts of the airbox together. What we're going to hit are the 4 on the perimeter. We got 1 down here, 1 down here. And then you move this cable out of the way. Got 1 up here. There's 1 right here in the corner. I'm going to hit this corner one first. Just take the screws out. And the last one up here. Now we can take our airbox cover off. Just give it a wiggle. And just finagle it around the cable here. And there we go. You can see the tube goes through the center of the filter here. Slide the filter out, and I got some crap in it. So there you go. That's funny. It looks like rat poop, actually. More than likely, this was sitting in the case a while. This is only serial number 164, so it's one of the few in the U.S., and had to come from up north. They didn't have any in Florida. I actually found some rat poop on top of the heat shield when I did the throttle body video too. So that confirms it. I thought maybe, something might have blown in there, but no, not that much. So inside, it's just an empty box. Obviously, make sure this is nice and clean. It should be. There's no reason, unless you have a damaged filter, anything should be inside the actual airbox itself. For the filter, it depends on your riding conditions, if you can clean this or if you need to replace it. The stock filters are darn good. Yes, they are just regular pleated paper. There's nothing special about that, but they filter very, very well. The engine loves low pass-through filters, high resistance filters. All right? No, that doesn't make peak power, but it keeps the engine very healthy. Yes, you can put in aftermarket filters. Just be aware that some are higher flow and have lower density pleats, especially the washable ones, the reusable ones that you need to oil, various brands out there. Just be aware that sometimes putting those in can really mess with the computer because it changes your airflow. So you may need to do those in conjunction with other things like an exhaust and a power commander. Me, I'm just sticking with stock. I know that just by putting a filter on. It doesn't do anything except to change the sound a little bit. Really doesn't add power by itself. Does in conjunction with other things, but not just by itself. So really the only advantage to changing to an aftermarket just by itself is if you get one that is high restriction, that you might see it called road legal. That doesn't mess with the computer. And then you don't have to buy more filters. You can just wash it. Now they don't last forever. I've used all different kinds of brands. I've used the pleated cotton, I've used the foam, I've used stock, paper, all kinds of stuff. I know from experience on these types of filters, even if this thing were not run and I had it for 5 years, this foam would deteriorate and would basically flake away. So I would need to replace it. This is nice and clean. If it was just a little bit dirty, if you had some leaves or bugs or stuff like that, use some canned air, blow it out. If you're going to use a compressor, very, very low pressure. You can blow through this paper very easily, so watch it with an air compressor. But if it's turning real dark, if you can't easily see light through it, you know what a dirty filter looks like. Give it a replacement. All right, these aren't too expensive at all. So now we're going to stick the filter back in, and it does not have a right or left side. Basically, inside you have a little protrusion that matches this oval here, so it just kind of clicks into place. So we'll do that now. And the flat side goes down, oval side goes up. And then this, likewise, is just going to go right in through the center. Just be careful that when you put this back in, you don't snag the edge of this and you're trying to get this over the lip or something, because it does take a little bit of finagling to get back around these cables. So I just get things kind of in place. I put the center in, lift this over. It's not going to go right in, so it does take a little bit of patience here. Be careful of not ripping that foam on the filter. Never try to really force it. I mean, there's some flex in the plastic, but not that much. Just kind of wiggle it in place. There we go. So now we can put our 4 screws back in. Now these are self-tapping and they're going into plastic. That means no torque, just lightly hand snug. They're not going anywhere. But you can very easily strip out plastic if you're putting screws into it. Just hand snug. That is all it takes. Do the left ones here. Nothing to it. One more. Way up at the corner. I'm going to put this cable around here. Get it from the underside of it. There we go. Now this cable doesn't have any ties or clips or anything. It just stays in place because it's so big. It's your main wiring loom, obviously. Once you put the panel back on, it doesn't have anywhere to go. So just tuck everything back around that plastic piece and it's good to go. There's nothing special you need to do there. All right. Now we can put our shroud back on. This is basically what keeps the panel in place, or keeps the wiring loom in place, I should say. I just have the one screw here. And again, going into plastic, just hand snug. Bada bing, bada boom. 2 more quick connects. Make sure that the center part is popped out. That means it's able to be inserted or removed. Put the whole thing in, press the center until it clicks. That's it. That's all you have to do to put these in. I love these things. I like the push ones even better because you don't even need a screwdriver to take them off. So there's that. Now we can go ahead and put our panel back on. So again, we just put it in corner first. If you flex this up to keep it fairly flat as it slides back, that helps guarantee that it's going to line up with that little lip. Don't worry about flexing and bending. That's totally normal. So just flex it gently into place. Guide this back around the red, and as long as you're under that lip, it falls right in place. That's all you have to do. Right under there you can see the little tab, the little lip. The silver panel goes in between there. Up here, you want to come from underneath. Bend this out a little bit, slip this behind it, and it comes right up into place. Now it's going to be lined up just by placing it there, and this is going to be already lined up with that rubber bushing on the inside. Just give it a push, and it's set. So now we can just put back our fasteners. We've got all these quick connects. Make sure that the center section is popped out. Place it back in the hole, and just tap the center down until it clicks. That's how you fasten all these little quick connects. Very easy. Two in the back, two in the front. One here going to the frame. One here going to this under tank panel. And then we have the two screws. We've got the skinnier one, which may or may not have taken out the bushing. It goes in the back. Now these metal screws do have a torque spec. I believe they're about 8 or 10 foot-pounds. Basically good and hand tight. More than just snug. Not like the plastic self-tapping screws from the airbox. And again, if you aren't a real good judge of torque, just use a torque wrench. And all the specs are in the manual. But generally, small screws like this, you're talking 8 or 10 foot-pounds. Larger 10 or 12 mil, you're talking about 14. Larger ones like the ones on drain pan bolts, book spec on those is usually somewhere around 30 foot-pounds, but to me that is way, way, way too much. I go low to mid 20s on those. Real good and snug. German torque specs, good and tight. There we go. All right, so now we can put our bag back on, put our seats back on, and we're good to go. That's all there is to changing or cleaning your air filter. Thanks for watching. If these videos helped you out, please share them, comment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up. That really helps. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.